Alright, so today we're going to be reading Jack and the Beanstalk. So let's get started. My name is Kristen Arno and I will be narrating today, and also I will be doing an activity with you guys after. So once upon a time there lived a poor widow and her son Jack. One day the widow told her son Jack to go sell their only cow that weighed 450 kilograms. And there she is shouting, "Go sell the cow." Alright. The next day Jack woke up and saw something outside his bedroom window. He ran outside to see a huge beanstalk that was 35 meters tall, that grew from his magic beans. Jack climbed all the way up his beanstalk until he reached a kingdom in the sky. Since that was 35 meters high, it was about negative 18 degrees Celsius. That is very cold. Look how far up they are. That's crazy. Alright. After a while, Jack climbed the beanstalk again. Once again, Jack asked the giant's wife for food, but while he was eating, the giant returned. Jack went to go hide again. He saw the giant with a hen that laid a golden egg. Once the giant went to bed, 63 seconds later, Jack took the hen and climbed back down the stalk. Wow, this story's pretty precise. After some days, Jack once again climbed back up the beanstalk. For the third time, Jack met the giant's wife and asked for some food. She once again gave him some milk and bread, though the giant came home. And there he is, eating his milk and bread, and then the hen with the golden eggs. The giant followed Jack down the beanstalk. There he is, and then there's Jack. Until Jack finally reached home. Jack quickly ran inside his house and fetched an axe. He began to chop the beanstalk. The giant fell and died. Well, that's sad. Jack and his mother were now very happy, and they lived happily ever after. The end. And there's Jack's mother, who looks kind of surprised, but maybe happy. And then there's Jack with that big old grin on his face. And that looks like it's probably some golden eggs. A big pile of golden eggs. The end. And that story was brought to us by Story Jumper, which is free stories online. Alright, now let's pull up our PowerPoint presentation for the activity. So, let's actually do... Oh, by the way, that's my two dogs. So let's get started with the activity. Alright, so now we're going to record where we left off. Okay, so now we're going to take some newspapers. So you want to have it out like this. So long ways. Like a hot dog. Alright, so the first step in our activity, which will be creating real life beanstalks, that you can use when you're reading the story, or when you want to play and go on an adventure with your friends. You can use this beanstalk to act out the story, or just use it in a different adventure or a different story. So you're going to want to take newspapers. So I'm going to put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 papers. Now you don't have to make it that thick. but the thicker the better. As I said, gather some newspapers, the bigger the better. Step 2, lay a few pieces out first and stack them on top of each other long ways, which I have done. The more layers, the more leaves your beanstalk will have. Alright, and so now step 3, roll the paper on its long end so that you can make about an inch wide tube. So we're going to start folding it like so. Okay, and so you can do that all the way to the end. Alright, and next we're going to need some tape. So you can just grab some clear tape that you use to either wrap gifts or just tape something on something else. So your beanstalk should look like this for right now. And so you're going to keep it long ways, and you are going to tape in the middle. Okay, so you're just going to put a long strip of tape right there. So you're going to make about an... until I'm done talking. Until I'm done doing that to talk. So you're going to make about an inch wide tube. If you're having your parents help you, it can kind of help you to gauge about how wide your beanstalk should be. But mine isn't. Mine's probably about that wide, maybe a little bit bigger. Alright, so I've put a piece of tape, and actually I'm going to make it a little longer. So, we are going to, okay, so my tape, I don't know why I didn't do a long tape to start. Okay, so my piece of tape runs from here to here, which is pretty long. Okay, so on each end, we're going to pinch the tube, but we're just going to start on the left side first. So pinch the tube flat and make a 4 to 5 inch cut. So I just pinched about where I'm going to need to cut. And you're just going to pinch from there down to make it flat. So I pinched where my finger is right here, and then I'm going to pinch till the end. Alright, so we pinched. And now we are going to cut the center of that tube. So from the bottom to where we pinched, we're going to cut it down the middle. Right? And these scissors are taking a while because I made it really thick. I did like 5 papers, but 3 papers should be good. I just wanted to make mine really thick, so make sure that I had as many leaves as I possibly could. Alright, my scissors are struggling. Alright, so that's probably good. Alright, so we have pinched and we've made a cut down the middle. Okay. Alright, and so now, okay, so that's on one end. We have one end cut, so this will be your leaves. And then we're going to flip to the next side, which has the rest of our directions. Alright, so we're going to rotate 180 degrees, which is like half of a clock. So we're going to spin it 180 degrees, so 180. And so now we're going to do this side and repeat it. So this side that we're going to end on is going to be the top of the beanstalk. Alright, so we're going to do the same thing. We're going to pinch at the 4 to 5 inch mark. probably went a little too far down, but that's okay. Just means we'll have some longer beanstalks, some longer leaves. Alright, so we're pinching to lay it flat, and so now we're going to cut down the middle once again. So I've got my scissors ready, and we're cutting down the middle, see? So we're cutting. Once again, my scissors are struggling, so it's going to take a second. Alright, so we've got our top end of the beanstalk cut. Okay. Alright, so you're going to stand the tube upright and slowly pull the inner layer upward. Okay, so we're going to stick our fingers on the inside of the tube, and we're going to grab the inner layer. So I'll grab about 2 or 3 of them. Alright, let's see. Alright, so I've grabbed about 3. It says stand the tube upright, slowly pull the inner layer upward. So we're going to hold the bottom, and not as easy as it looks. Let's see. I need to make sure that I'm holding both ends. Alright, let's see. Hold on. Alright, you guys, so welcome back. And so I had to retire the beanstalk that I was using because apparently I did it wrong. So, I started with a fresh piece that I have already cut, and so this is what your beanstalk should look like. It should have the little leaves hanging, and I decided to go and re-watch that episode to make sure that I was doing it right, and I wasn't. So I stand corrected in my instructions, so I'm going to hurry up and modify those. Let's see. Okay. So that is actually going to be the bottom of your beanstalk, and we will only cut one side. So I cut on both ends earlier, and that's why it wasn't coming up and working. Okay, so this will be your leaves. So you'll pinch on one end, cut this out, and so now you have your leaves hanging. So this is what it should look like versus mine that were still sticking straight up and not doing anything. And so step 5, I stand corrected. You'll just rotate. So I had it like this. So you'll rotate 180 degrees, and this will be the bottom of your beanstalk. So I just made that correction in the directions. And so you'll stand the tube upright, and you'll slowly pull the inner layer upward. So let's see if we can do that. So grab a few. Hopefully we can get these beanstalks to come up this time. So you'll just grab a few of these and start pulling up. So, alright, our beanstalk's already moving. That's a good sign. Alright, I'm going to grab a few more strands to make sure that I can get a hold of more paper. Alright, so do you see the little bit? I don't know that you can really tell that it's moving. Okay, so we're grabbing. It's moving just a hair. Alright, so you can already see that it's moved up this much. So it's going to take a while to pull. So Alright, so we were pulling the beanstalks up. So as you can see, the bottom of our beanstalk is like here, and then it's kind of moved up a little bit. So let's try to move some of the different papers. And it must be the way I'm pulling this up. Hold on. Alright, so I'm pulling the very bottom. As you can see, all of the beanstalks are different lengths. So we have some way down here, and we have some way up here. And it doesn't look exactly like the one off of the show, but it's pretty close. I probably should have cut my beanstalks lower. Let's see. So I'm just going to keep grabbing different layers of the paper. And, whoops, I want to pull them out. So I have one side that looks kind of normal. So we'll just use this as an example. But, so that's not exactly what it's supposed to look like. And I'll actually pull up. Give me 1 second and I'll pull up what it's supposed to look like. Like the finished product. So, this is what, I'll pull this up. And let's get to the part where they show the beanstalk. Okay, so this is what the beanstalk is supposed to look like. Even though that's definitely not what mine looks like. So you see how it's like layered, but it's like evenly distributed layers? That's what it's supposed to look like compared to my sad version of it. So that's an old TV show that I got this idea from. So it's called Out of the Box. It's on Disney Plus right now. So you can go and watch it. So yeah, mine is a very sad version of it, but so you're only supposed to cut one side, and that's your leaves, and then the other side stays at the bottom as like the stalk. And then on the show they actually had real life bean plants that they watered and everything, and then they had this cute little sing-along about how plants need water and sun to grow, and if you don't give them enough of both, then the plants won't grow. And so that's another cool thing you can do. You can make a beanstalk, but then you can also watch whether it be a bean or a sunflower or something grow, and some of those plants are actually really cheap. My sister actually started growing some watermelon and some cucumber, and so they've only been in the ground for like 4 days. But she's been making sure they have enough water and enough sunlight each day, so hopefully those will grow. So yeah. Like I said, mine is a sad version of the beanstalk. But it's a starting point, so only cut off one side. It had been a while since I had watched the video, so that's why I was kind of rusty on that. I should have brushed up on that. But yeah, so here's a beanstalk. My beanstalk. And obviously if you use like actual newspapers, they'll be longer, like the ones that they had. I just use like little newspaper clippings because that's all we had. Like sale paper clippings. Like the little Super One thing that you get when you get your junk mail on Tuesdays. So mine is very short. So if you use actual newspapers, it'll be longer. And then if you use like the comic strip section, it'll be colorful on the outside. So that's also another thing you can do. So thank you guys for watching, and I hope y'all enjoyed this activity. And it's something that you can do if you're not allowed to use scissors by yourself. You can do it with an adult and it doesn't take long. Or if you are able to use scissors by yourself, just be careful. Watch where your fingers are before you start cutting and while you're cutting. And just make sure that I had used one, like, little pieces of tape, little strips of tape. Use one long string of tape, and that'll help you a lot. And also it'll save a little bit of time too. That's it. So thank you guys for watching. I enjoyed the shorts, the story that was brought to us by Story Jumper. And then these are my directions. It's a very plain slideshow, but it does the job. So this is step 7. Holding the bottom down should make the paper telescope up toward the ceiling. As you pull the leaves up, your beanstalk should flop over and spread out, making a perfect prop visual aid for story time or just playing with your friends. And mine is definitely not a perfect visual aid compared to the one that was on the show, but it gets the job done. You get the idea of a beanstalk. So thanks for watching, and y'all have a great evening. Bye.